Welcome back to Live at 9, and we're flipping the script on grief. And when I saw this, I thought it was really impactful because I don't think people always think about grief as something that people necessarily suffer. You hear mental health, or you hear maybe a disease, or all those things. But sometimes grief isn't a word that you hear all the time, but yet it's impacting a lot of us, if not all of us, in some sort of fashion. So talk about what this month is and why you guys are trying to bring awareness.
So November is National Grief, Childhood Grief Awareness Month. And we are recognizing that all across the United States. And their campaign this year is to flip the script. So to be a person who listens more than you talk when you're working with children who are grieving. So Mississippi is third in the nation of children who will be affected by the death of a parent or sibling by the time they're 18. So that means 1 in 8 children in the state of Mississippi will have a death of a loved one.
Yeah, and what are some of the signs? Because I assume like every child is going to be upset and sad that their parent has passed away, but maybe some kids are going to take it a little bit even further and be even more upset, and now they're grieving to the point they need some help. What are some of those warning signs that, hey, maybe they need to go talk to someone beyond just, trying to move on, I guess, per se?
Well, kind of our philosophy at the center is just you really don't even have to have issues, but just to be able to have a safe place to be able to come and talk. So what the children do at our center is they are upstairs while our adult caregivers have a group downstairs, and they have the opportunity to talk about memories about their loved one, about feelings associated with the death. Some children get where they don't want to talk to their parent because they're afraid that they're going to bring emotion in their parent. So when they come to McClean Fletcher Center, they do have that safe place that they can talk about it. And even though kids get sad, very much so, they are very factual in what's going on in their life, and then they want to get back to playing. So we have to seize those moments of opportunity for them to be able to talk about their grief. So.
No, yeah, and that's wonderful. And you said 1 in 8 will face this in the state of Mississippi.
Sure.
And why is Mississippi on the higher end of that?
I think the 2 other states, and I can't remember them off the top of my head, but are more rural states, and I think that may be what kind of affects us. And, we see in the Jackson metro area that our homicide rate is climbing, and children are being affected by that.
When you guys first get a child that is grieving, what are some of the first things you do with them?
So we bring in a family for an orientation so that they're familiar with the center, and we have lots of great spaces for them to interact, because children are not only verbal in their grief, some need to be able to get it out physically. We have a tornado room that's got a punching bag and all kinds of things where they can get out their frustration or just their energy for the day. And then we also have a grief cave where they can go in and write messages to their loved ones, because for some it's easier to write those words down than to actually speak them.
I'm going to ask a personal question, not super personal.
Sure.
Do you ever get emotional watching these kids, have to go through this, but then also on the other flip side of this, get better? I mean, that's got to, when you're talking about writing those messages or going in and punching a bag, I know me, I would feel just the emotions of
Sure.
those moments.
Absolutely. And we're very much volunteer based, and we have volunteers tell us all the time that they as much healing coming to McClean Center, helping children, that they thought they were going to just come to help kids. So yes, we do get emotional. We have a candle lighting ceremony right before the Christmas holidays. Sometimes that's the very first time since the memorial service or the funeral that a family's had the opportunity to honor their loved one, and it brings emotion in them, and it brings emotion in us, and that means that we're human. So,
well, I think you guys are doing a wonderful job.